Black Bean Simpson here. How's everyone doing tonight? It's about 8 o'clock. It's 19th of January 2019. So I just wanted to quickly touch on this blacklisting that the banking industry is essentially starting to dabble in. Like, they're literally participating in censoring um, uh, what seems like so far is conservative people from collecting their money, like PayPal and that. Um, this is actually a little older article from Breitbart, but I just feel like I felt like it should just be touched on still, and anybody who comes across my channel, at least there's a chance that they can see this and find that this stuff is actually going on if they were not aware. Especially that this is the reason why, like, a whole bunch of people who are on Patreon are essentially moving. They're making their own platform, like what's his name there, Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin. I did a video sometime back, shortly sometime back, about it. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but check it out. So this is a serious issue because this is kind of against antitrust laws, but I don't think that's really what truly matters here. I just think what matters here is the fact that once companies and groups of people get so wealthy, they don't care about that stuff. Obviously, they don't care. They don't care that there's an antitrust law because they'll just pay it off, and then they'll just go on with their day and jump in their vehicle and drive off into the sunset. Like, some of these people will never face actual prison time, and I think that's the problem here. Is that when people start to censoring freedom of speech, it's literally the First Amendment, so it should be the number one prioritized, protected of all amendments, and the second one should be the rights to bear arms, and so on. There's a purpose on why it's the First Amendment, and I think it should be treated as such, as one of the most important ones, and that the fact that these companies, they feel like they can have the authority to sit here and convince or not even convince, to essentially threaten, stop doing payments and whatnot with websites and with individuals just because of their ideology or their stance in life. That to me is crazy. Like, that to me is if you want to live in a society that allows ostracizing, then okay, let's live in a society that allows ostracizing. But then that would mean that we would have to essentially go to anarchy, and I'm fine with that. But then we need to remove all operations of government. And at the moment, a whole bunch of lefties are dependent on the government, and a whole bunch of poor people who don't want to let go of that heroin, essentially, that welfare. They're not going to let go of it. So it's just that's not going to happen anytime soon. So what we got to do is protect this freedom of speech, and these people who think that they have some power because they're so wealthy and rich and powerful themselves. No, they need to face some type of severe consequences, and this is one of my two options. Either remove let's say about 3/4, if not more, 3/4 of your wealth right off the top, so you got to remake that, and you can't make it by cutting wages and whatnot. You can't. You're gonna have to deal with earning it slowly but surely, or go to prison. Yeah, and maybe it's more than 3/4. If you're essentially censoring people, and when it's, there's an antitrust law, right? When antitrust law, to the best of my knowledge, is for when people have so much power, they're kind of like, you're giving them the trust that they're not gonna backstab you, essentially, right? And that's what these companies are doing. They're so powerful. We never expected that they would attempt to do this, but now since they're so powerful, they can, and they know they can, and they can get away since there's no essential straight up law besides the antitrust law. You're you're taking my trust and throwing it out the window. Like I was doing you with. It's not like when I was doing business with PayPal. It said that if I was to do anything outside of PayPal, that they're gonna stop doing payments with me. See, that's and to do that, I mean, that's like you're getting a whole different grounds of working with the public. Um, and we're in a very strange time when it comes with censoring and people attacking our constitutional rights. There's always been it's interesting because it's always been like this slowly but surely carving away of the rights. It's like this big foundation that we've been essentially sitting on, this big rock, and this rock has helped us stay out of like floods and whatnot, and um, essentially it's just people just want to tear it down so we can just be part of the flood with everybody else or something. I don't understand it. It's like this beautiful foundation that has been created for, well, oh, you could say, well, 300, 400 years ago, whatever. The fact that it's been around this long, and it's always gotten better. That's the whole purpose. In 400 years, it has fundamentally gotten better and better and better than any other nation when it comes to bettering its citizens and providing for not only for the citizens but the people that are outside of its own nation border. And no other nation or country can even claim as much as what at least what America has done, let alone just the Western European nations. And this is why when you make that argument that Western European people, um, the traditional Western European people are like 90+% of the world inventors or givers of the world, essentially. When you break down inventions and ideas and what has been provided around the world, that's people just can't stand that argument. And it's like, well, then prove it wrong. Prove it wrong, and then they always want to go back to like colonialism or something. Oh, it's just it is a clusterfuck of a shitstorm right now that's happening, and uh, the financial sector decided to step in and try to be gatekeeper with language, which is that's a scary thing. Um, that's a very dystopian type of society that's going to happen if that doesn't get pinched out real quick. I mean, it's what was that? What do they? It was 1987 or 1989, whatever that film that people mention. When you got essentially your money maker and money keeper and essentially money watcher, not only doing that but also managing what you say and how you say it. That is not a pretty future. We need to put an end to that as fast as possible. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like this podcast, please still like and subscribe. Comment down below for advice, comments, whatnot, chit chat. Thanks for watching.